In total, Emirates has ordered 270 Boeing 777X aircraft, 60 A350-900, 35 787s, the largest wide-body backlog on the planet. flydubai committed to over 400 narrowbodies, 30 787-9s. Combined, that's over 800 new aircraft for two airlines that both call Dubai home. There's just one problem: their airport can't handle them. Dubai International (DXB) handled a record 92.3 million passengers in 2024 and is on pace for 96 million in 2025. More international travelers pass through its terminals than any other airport on Earth. But it's full, maxed out of gates, out of runway, out of slots, and hemmed in by highways and residential neighborhoods on all sides. DXB has only two parallel runways, separated by 385 meters. Those runways handle up to 66 movements per hour, but operate near saturation at around 60 to 65 per hour during peaks, forcing delays and limiting growth. There's no third runway coming, no massive terminal expansion, nowhere left to build. The airport has hit a wall. So, how do you grow an aviation empire when your airport has run out of room? Dubai's answer is the largest airport megaproject in human history, a $35 billion bet that will shift the entire aviation ecosystem to a new location sooner than anyone expected. But here's what makes this story interesting. They actually tried to solve this problem 15 years ago, and it failed. Why did Dubai wait so long to act, and what changed? Dubai International didn't start as a global powerhouse. In 1960, it opened with a single sand runway, handling small propeller planes. By the 2000s, Emirates turned DXB into a long-haul superconnector. The strategy was simple: position Dubai as the midpoint between East and West, Europe and Asia, and fly wide-bodies to every major city on Earth. It worked. By 2007, the airport reached 33 million passengers. By 2018, it hit 89 million. In 2024, the airport handled a record 92.3 million passengers, over 2.2 million tons of cargo, and registered over 440,000 aircraft movements. Of DXB's traffic, about 44% is transfer passengers connecting through its hub, versus 54% origin and destination, highlighting why capacity limits threaten Dubai's role as a global connector. DXB became one of the busiest international airports in the world, but that success created the very crisis Dubai now faces. The airport is surrounded on all sides by the city itself, residential neighborhoods, major highways, dense urban development. There's no space for expansion. Meanwhile, demand keeps accelerating. Dubai is attempting to diversify its economy. According to Emirates, in 2023, aviation supported over 630,000 jobs and contributed over $37.3 billion to Dubai's economy. DXB can't absorb the growth required to sustain or grow this number, not even close. The risk isn't just slower expansion, it's DXB failing to meet demand, constraining tourism, limiting Emirates' competitive edge, and throttling Dubai's entire economic model. Dubai need a solution that DXB could never physically deliver, and they thought they had one. In 2010, Dubai opened Al-Maktoum International Airport, also known as Dubai World Central, or DWC. The vision was unprecedented. Phase 1 capacity of 150 million passengers, scaling to 260 million ultimate and 12 million tons of freight. The master plan called for 5 parallel runways, 400 aircraft gates, and a terminal complex covering roughly 70 square kilometers. It would be, by every measure, the largest airport on Earth. Then reality intervened. Oil prices crashed, the global economy stumbled, then COVID-19 hit, and global aviation collapsed overnight. Suddenly, DXB's footprint looked sufficient. Traffic dropped, growth forecasts were slashed, the urgency to move to DWC evaporated. Construction slowed to a crawl. Emirates postponed its relocation indefinitely. the airport became a cargo hub and a home for some Dubai operators. But the grand vision faded into the background. For a moment, the crisis felt distant, but the underlying truth never changed. DXB would still be out of space. Dubai's long-term vision still required a new mega hub, and the global aviation industry wouldn't stay grounded forever. So, what changed? Dubai roared back. Passenger traffic at DXB served 70.1 million flyers in the 9 months of 2025, an annual 2.3% increase. Tourism surpassed pre-pandemic levels. Dubai's population surged. Record hotel occupancy, record visitor numbers. In its rolling 12-month passenger numbers, DXB had 93.8 million passengers as of the end of September 2025. The airport is on track to break its own record again. The key trigger? The fleet orders. Emirates didn't just resume growth, it accelerated. Emirates 777X backlog now stands at 270 aircraft, after adding 65 more 777-9s at the 2025 Dubai Air Show. The airline now expects 375 wide-body deliveries, 60 A350-900, 10 777F, 270 777-9, and 35 787s. These aren't regional jets. These are massive wide-bodies designed for high-capacity hub operations, the kind of flying that demands gates, ground handling space, and runway capacity that DXB simply doesn't have. Then, flydubai announced major commitments. Flydubai's, if finalized, combined backlog could exceed 400 narrowbodies after committing to up to 250 more A321neos and 150 737 Maxes at the 2025 Dubai Air Show. Dubai realized the airport crisis wasn't just back, it was worse than before. But here's the part that separates this from other infrastructure stories. The solution was already sitting in the desert, half-built and waiting. The question wasn't whether to build DWC, it was whether to actually commit to it. Let's be clear about what DXB's constraints actually mean. The airport has buildings on all 4 sides, with no space available for a major expansion. You can't build another terminal when there's a highway on one side and residential neighborhoods on the other. The 2-runway configuration is a hard ceiling. You can optimize throughput, speed up taxiing, improve gate turnarounds, but you can't create a 3rd runway. Adding terminals doesn't fit runway bottlenecks. You can't park more planes if there's nowhere for them to land. Emirates and flydubai need room to grow. DXB cannot provide this, not ever. Now look at DWC's advantages. The master plan includes 5 parallel runways and around 400 aircraft gates. The airport will be able to handle up to 4 aircraft simultaneously approaching the airfield, with up to 100 flights at any given time. It's a greenfield site, total freedom in design, no compromises, no constraints from existing infrastructure. 5 parallel runway, plus redesigned UAE airspace will boost approach and departure efficiency. Here's the economic reality. If DXB constrains aviation growth, tourism revenue drops. Transit traffic shifts to Doha, Istanbul, and Riyadh. Emirates loses its competitive advantage. Flydubai can't evolve. The cost of not moving becomes far higher than the cost of building DWC. The 35 billion DWC expansion is state-backed, with phased capex over 10 years, blending government funding, airline investments, for example Emirates' $10 to $12 billion commitment, and international loans like the UK's $3.5 billion expression of interest. But can they actually pull off a transition of this scale? So, how does an entire aviation ecosystem relocate? Carefully, strategically, in phases. Phase 1 sees flydubai move first. The airline's plan is to use more aircraft to fly its routes from and to DWC. Narrowbodies are easier to relocate ahead of Emirates. This begins rebalancing traffic away from DXB without disrupting the entire hub. A single mega hub at DWC is strategically superior for Emirates over a DXB-DWC split, enabling seamless wide-body connections, unified ground ops, and avoiding duplicated costs and infrastructure. Phase 2 is the big one. Emirates migrates its wide-body fleet. DXB will reach about 114 to 115 million passengers by 2031, which is the maximum capacity, and then the full transition to DWC happens in 2032. Phased transfer: flydubai first by late 2020s, Emirates by 2032, DXB repurposed for premium origin destination traffic. Emirates' current banked wave model at DXB, clustering arrivals and departures in 4 daily banks for efficient connections, gets enhanced at DWC with wider piers and automated systems for even tighter waves. As terminals and maintenance facilities at DWC are completed, Emirates transitions. Long-term, Emirates and flydubai become fully integrated under one roof at DWC, a unified hub-and-spoke structure with more efficient connections and capacity to scale for decades. DWC prioritizes passenger experience, with easy transfers, pier layouts minimizing walks, and seamless Emirates flydubai integration. Phase 3 brings in global carriers. Airlines follow the traffic. Long-term incentive programs, new terminal offerings, and potential integration with future high-speed rail will gradually shift international carriers to DWC. The transition demands relocating 50,000-plus staff in ground handling, MRO, and catering, phased via training pipelines to minimize disruptions. Key milestones: first phase operational by 2030, initial flydubai flights, Emirates partial shift 2031, full DXB transfer by 2032. But here's what many people miss: DXB won't die. Once DWC is fully operational, it wouldn't be sensible to keep both airports fully operational due to cost, but DXB could become a premium secondary airport handling business aviation, origin and destination traffic, and regional flights. DXB won't be the main gateway anymore, but it won't disappear either. If global demand underperforms or fleet deliveries slip, as with past 777X delays, DWC's phased build could strain finances and leave Emirates growth constrained, potentially ceding market share to Doha or Istanbul. If DWC underdelivers, for example via funding shortfalls, Dubai risks aviation stagnation, tourism leakage to rivals, and economic hits, echoing past DXB delays that cost billions in lost growth. Here's what separates DWC from every other airport megaproject: it's not just an airport. DWC sits at the center of Dubai South, a planned Aerotropolis covering 140 square kilometers. This is a logistics hub, a trade zone, a residential district, a business center, and a multimodal transport node all in one. DWC's design maximizes aeronautical revenue, landing fees, handling, while amplifying non-aeronautical streams like retail, real estate, and logistics, projected to generate 60% of airport income from non-flying sources. DWC's 12 million-ton cargo capacity targets e-commerce booms, Africa-Asia freight corridors, and time-sensitive logistics, positioning Dubai as a re-export powerhouse beyond passengers. Residential and commercial development in Dubai South is already accelerating as companies position themselves near the future hub. And remember Expo 2020? The site is plugged directly into Dubai South. Infrastructure is already in place. Residential and commercial build-out is accelerating. DWC incorporates environmental safeguards like dedicated SAF infrastructure, efficient taxiing routes to cut ground fuel burn by 20%, and reduced holding patterns, aligning with UAE's net zero goals. DWC isn't far from the city, it's the center of the next one. But there's another dimension to this crisis that raises the stakes even higher. Dubai isn't operating in a vacuum. It doesn't expand aviation capacity. Istanbul, Doha, and Riyadh will surpass it. Regional competitors are all building or expanding their hubs aggressively. Saudi Arabia is targeting 150 million visitors as part of Vision 2030. Qatar already moved to the new Hamad International Airport in 2014. DWC's ultimate capacity goal dwarfs rivals' goals, securing Dubai's edge. Dubai's entire future economic model depends on having the world's most powerful aviation megahub. Lose that, and the city loses loses its competitive edge in tourism, trade, logistics, and global connectivity. That's the real crisis. And that's why DWC isn't just a solution, it's the only solution. Dubai faced a crisis that most global hubs eventually face. You can outgrow your airport, but you cannot slow an economy built on aviation. New York has multiple airports, London has 5, Paris has 3, but these all evolved organically and over decades. Dubai chose a different path. Instead of squeezing more out of DXB, instead of compromising with incremental fixes, Dubai chose ambition over convenience. A new mega hub, Phase 1 capacity of over 150 million passengers by 2030, scaling to 260 million ultimate, with around 400 aircraft gates and a terminal complex covering roughly 70 square kilometers. A city built around it, Dubai South, a 140 square kilometer Aerotropolis with logistics, trade, residential and business districts all connected by rail, metro and highways. Room for both Emirates and flydubai to scale